Good evening, everyone. I'm here to talk about the importance of mental health and how it can affect anybody at any stage of life, whether they are a celebrity or an ordinary person just like you and me. Michael Phelps is one of the most accomplished Olympic athletes in history. He once said, if you want to be the best, you have to do things others aren't willing to do. Michael Phelps is most known as being a world-renowned Olympic athlete. He did his very first Olympics in 2000 at the age of 15. He has been awarded 28 medals since then. Despite all of his successes in his field, he has also been very open about his mental health struggles and how fame didn't protect him. According to PBS, Phelps did not want to be alive and was at his lowest point and didn't receive any help from the United States Olympic Committee. Phelps is very brave and he was very vulnerable in sharing how his mental health has affected him despite his fame. And his vulnerability also posed the question of how many athletes actually suffer in silence, just like you and me. In this speech, I explore three major arguments surrounding athletes and their mental health. First, I will explore Phelps's personal journey about his success in his career, as well as some of the mental health struggles he experiences. Second, I will analyze the situation regarding the United States Olympic Committee, or the USOC, their lack of support, and how this affects their athletes. Finally, I will pose solutions and different programs that the USOC should implement to ensure that their athletes are safe before, during, and after competing in the Olympic Games. As stated earlier, Michael Phelps was one of the most decorated athletes in the world. He began in 2000 at the age of 15, his very first Olympics. He has won 28 medals and broken and set many world and Olympic records. ESPN calls him a hero of the U.S. sports, but also he is a hero of mental health awareness. Behind all of his success, his emotional and mental health world was collapsing. According to the Washington Post, Phelps said, "I straight wanted to die. I was doing the bare minimum and felt trapped in my sport." Phelps is experiencing depression while competing and experienced a very rough transition back into normal life. This was also fueled by the stigma around athletes' mental health and the lack of awareness. As time went on, he tried to go back into normal life, realizing that help and getting help was his main priority. Despite the stigma to vocalize his struggles, he, according to Healthline, said Phelps wanted to believe that everything was fine and eventually learned that ignoring his feelings actually worsened the pain. Phelps decided to encourage others at every life stage to seek help without shame. His therapy and vulnerability, speaking openly about his struggles, helps break stigma around athletes and shine light on mental health awareness. According to the Boston Globe, Michael Phelps called out the USOC and to expand their mental health resources. He explains that the USOC does not do enough for athletes when athletes should be their main priority. The USOC is responsible for the well-being of their athletes. They should have supportive measures and policies in place that help all athletes regarding their mental health. This includes during practices, in team environments, competing in the Olympic Games, and preparation included for competing, and the athlete's life transitioning back to normal life. These measures should be for current, active, and future Olympic athletes to help prevent this serious situation. There should also be access to professional licensed therapists, a stigma-free organization support, and transition programs to help them ease back into normal life. Athletes should have a safe environment to express their mental health and get the necessary help that they may need to overcome it. Olympic athletes receive no support from the USOC. Phelps describes his experience in the Olympic Games. Many others feel the same struggle due to a stigma and needing to be a role model. Phelps said to the Boston Globe, "As an athlete, it's challenging, especially for a male. We're supposed to be big, strong, and macho, not somebody who struggles with emotions. This mindset put on athletes by sports organizations like the USOC makes it so much harder for athletes to speak up and actually get help that they need. The lack of resources for retired athletes create a cycle of mental health struggles, the inability to return back to society. In fact, the USOC has a history of offering limited resources and programs to athletes and create them to be more at risk when returning back to normal life." Phelps once said, "I'm somebody who's gone through at least 3 or 4 major depression spells after competing in my Olympic Games that have put my life into danger," he said, according to the Washington Post. These real feelings that Phelps has experienced are due to the great stigma attached to all athletes that are trying to seek help. The USOC should create programs and policies that provide Olympic athletes to help transition back into normal life. Phelps tells Sports Illustrated his feelings, expressing and being more open about his struggles in the public eye. He said, "The more I share my stories, the lower my shoulders drop. The more confident I am about telling my story and who I am. As a public culture of accepting vulnerability and support, we can make isolation preventable and asking for help more normalized." In conclusion, mental health is a very serious issue that affects all people in every stage of life. When it comes to athletes especially, I believe that there should be a strong support system, and sports organizations such as the United States Olympic Committee should help the well-being of their athletes by providing programs and helping them transition back into normal life after competing. They should be able to succeed not only in their career, but also in their normal life. I leave you with this. Michael Phelps said, "There are always going to be obstacles that come in your way, but you must stay positive." I believe that this quote speaks great volumes to what he has endured as a person and how he has overcome his challenges and has a great support system to help him continue